Hello everyone, my name is Luke, and the new highest round world record in Cold War Zombies is round 595, achieved by Daddy Dez, and his world record, I'm gonna be honest, makes no sense, and you'll find out why. Real quick, I do want to mention, if you are new around here, then consider dropping a sub and tell me what your highest round so far is on Cold War in the comments below. Anyway, the reason why his game is so confusing is for quite a lot of reasons actually. And before I mention any of them, I want to stress that his game is legitimate, it's just making everyone rethink Cold War's mechanics for high rounds. I don't want to imply whatsoever that he cheated, modded, anything whatsoever in his game. So what exactly is making Dez so different to everyone else in his high round game? Well, he's playing mostly the same as everyone else, where you get the ray gun as quickly as possible at the start of the game, and then you use that combined with the ring of fire on top of the main knock building to play insanely quick. You really only have to worry about a few spawn points, and because the ring of fire gives you triple the damage of your normal ray gun, you can kill zombies off spawn instantly, and the rounds go quicker than almost any zombies map ever. But what's different this time around in Dez's game is that most high round players, when their ring of fire needs to be charged up again, they stay at the top of the knocked roof firing the ray gun until their ring is ready again. But Dez decided to take a different path with this, and he decided to use his ring when it's charged like everyone else does, but once it runs out, he heads down off of the roof and down to the spawn room where he kills a full horde of zombies. And with 25 to 30 zombies in that horde being killed, that is enough to charge up his ring, and he heads back up to the roof to use it. Rinse and repeat this over and over again unless armor is really needed, but he also seems to have bought that less often than most players that I've seen. And in case you're wondering, yes, that is much slower to do that instead of just staying up on the roof, but that's not really too much of a concern to him, to be honest with you. It doesn't really seem like he's very concerned whatsoever with how quickly he's playing. Which is actually quite interesting, because when the game first came out, high round players began crashing after about 1 day of playtime. A bunch of them crashed around that point, and it began to be assumed that that was where the map met its technical limitations. From there began to be a bit of talk about high round games essentially turning into a 24-hour speedrun. But Dez has almost 3 days of playtime, so that theory is essentially debunked in just this one game. It's also been widely speculated that Ring of Fire can cause game crashes. This is maybe because you can kill the zombie so quickly that Cold War couldn't keep up with it, or maybe Ring of Fire itself is just a bit buggy. And if that is the case, then that kinda sucks, because if you know anything about high rounds at all, then you know Ring of Fire is quite important to the high round strategy. And this theory hasn't so much been debunked by Dez, but it could possibly be helping that he's not using it as often as other players have been. He may be using it about as often in terms of the zombies between Ring of Fires, but the amount of time in between them from him having to go down to the spawn room and then coming back up might make the difference. The same theory basically applies to the chopper gunner as well, because that causes frame lag from what I've seen, and I've heard about crashes during the chopper gunner or immediately after you leave it. In general, there's quite a lot of speculation as to why everyone has been crashing in their games of Cold War Zombies on round 300, 400, 500. There's a lot of different theories out there, and I'm just giving you some of the ones that have been discussed in this game as to what is actually different in Dez's compared to everyone else's, and what has been debunked. Something else I do need to mention is that Dez played his game on PC, and he only had a 1080 Ti graphics card in his computer, which in my mind personally writes it out as being a hardware advantage, unless the crashing is related to something with VRAM or drivers. It could be any of those things. I'm no expert on technical aspects of games, but I can assume that other high round players had an equivalent graphics card or one better than him. So I'm just gonna write it out as being just a straight up hardware advantage. But yeah, with all that said, you can see right here, nothing really drastic has changed in Dez's game besides a slight strategy change, and even then it doesn't really make a ton of sense considering other players have crashed while using slower strategy than even Dez. I've seen people crash while running super slow strategies in the first room or running around at the plane wing near Juggernog. There's a lot of different ways that I've seen people crash, and this one really to me doesn't make much sense. But either way, this run exists somehow, some way, and if we can't figure out how to replicate it, then this might be the highest round in Cold War Zombies for quite a long time. Because as I said a minute ago, everyone else is crashing at around round 400, 450, maybe 500 if they're a bit lucky. And the second highest round right now is 529, and even that game was played on a PS4, which really to me doesn't make sense, I'm gonna be honest. And what's funny is I was actually going to make a video on that game and I had the script done and everything like that, but then obviously this game happens and it's no longer the world record, so I was like, I guess I need to kind of scrap that one. And one more thing I would like to mention with this game, as you can see in the top right corner, there is round 512 plus whatever else you are seeing at the time. This is because after round 255, round 256 shows as a blank number, and then round 257 shows up as round 1 and continues to count up from there. So in order to avoid any confusion about what round is actually going on at the time, people just decide to put in a little math equation to make things more simple. Anyway, back to what we were discussing a minute ago, another side of this whole high round coin is that people, if they can replicate what Dez is doing in his game and can avoid crashes, then Cold War Zombies will get really interesting and could essentially become a matter of just who has the most time on their hands. And I'm even going to go out on a limb and say that round 1000 seems possible, especially if once it's replicated, then it's going to become optimized by more players, it'll become quicker, and people will be able to go further because they have more experience with it. Plus, if you didn't know, Black Ops 4 actually has a round limit of 1024, so it'll be super interesting to, for zombies nerds like me, obviously, to see if that limit is reached. Is that round limitation still in place, or was it removed by Treyarch? Really, only time's going to tell on this one. For now, this is somewhat of a miracle high round game. It's an anomaly, and it's gonna be interesting as a case study going forward to see what the hell happened here. Personally, I keep crashing on round like 55 on PS4, which makes me big sad, so to see people on round 593 freezing for 20 seconds and then unfreezing is just pretty like, I don't even know how to comprehend that. But obviously, congratulations to Dez on this game though, and this could possibly be a really exciting time, and it could be exciting for the future of high rounds on this game, because before this, high rounds were beginning to hit a wall and the record was sort of stalled out. A man named Pikachu had the record with the 529 before this, and it stood for about a week, which may not seem like a long time, but before he set the record, it was broken basically every other day seemingly, so hopefully this can make everything really exciting again. And I'm sorry that the video has a bit of an anticlimactic ending to it. I was actually recording all of this when he was in the round 590s. I was hoping that he was going to get 600 and continue his game, but literally in the middle of editing this video, he died on round 595. That is just, that's absolutely heartbreaking, I'm not gonna lie. But still, you guys should go check him out in the description below. I'm not sure if he's still going to be streaming, but go tell him GG anyway, because this is the new world record by close to 70 rounds. And you never know, he might go for another high round game. I'm actually not too sure, so like I said, go check him out, see what's going on with the stream, and go leave him a follow. I'd appreciate that. Thank you very much. While you're down there, like I said, I would appreciate a like and subscribe if you guys are new around here. I talk about world records quite a lot on my channel. I also do some other stuff, and I'm still trying to get around 100 with the combat knife. I've been having some issues with that because my game keeps crashing. It might be dead wire, but I don't want to rant about that too long. Anyway, I love you guys so much. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.